Hello everybody, so I thought I would do a kind of like, not necessarily first impressions, but I'd do a tutorial using a new brand that I have discovered. So one of my friends, Ella, hello Ella if you're watching, I believe that she works for this company and she's doing a bit of PR for them. And she sent me a load of stuff by a company called Nude By Nature. Now I'm not being paid to do this video, but I've been trying out the products and I thought I would do a little tutorial. They're sort of organic, cruelty free, no nasties. It's stocked in Debenhams. The packaging's really beautiful, hasn't broken my skin out or anything, and I think that some of these things that I'm going to show you, you guys might like. I had never heard of this brand before, but it seems to be sort of a very natural, responsible kind of brand. Much like, you know, I love things like The Body Shop and Lizelle and people like that. So my skin is breaking out because I'm on my period, but it's also really dry, which never happens to me. So I'm going to start off with the vitamin enriched face base. I'm going to smother myself in that and then we will get onto the video. So the first thing I'm going to be using is this Nude By Nature, and this is their Flawless Foundation. It comes with a pump, which is really good for traveling. The bottle is glass, which is nice because it is, I think it's, I want to say it's about £25, so it is like a more expensive brand. But it's glass, which is really nice. It feels heavy and expensive. The only thing, obviously, you know what I'm like with glass, it's annoying for traveling because it is heavy and it might break. But it has a pump. I like this foundation. I'm going to show you how it applies. This is a little bit dark for me right now because when me and Ella sort of matched me, I was more tanned, and my fake tan since come off. So I'm going to mix it with a little bit of a shade adjuster just to get the colour right for you guys. So I'm taking this on my Real Techniques buffing brush and I'm just going to buff this really well into the skin. This, I would say, is a medium to full coverage. It is definitely buildable. I would say if you've got really dry skin, then you definitely need to wear a good moisturiser underneath. It is a beautiful kind of natural satin matte finish. It doesn't feel heavy on the skin even though the coverage is really good, but what I would say, if you've got any flaky patches or anything like that, then I would maybe steer clear because I feel like it does show a little bit. So you've got to really kind of moisturise your skin first. That to me I find a bit odd though because it really doesn't feel heavy, and you can see like where I have like some marks and stuff from where I've got a few spots on my chin and stuff, this is really kind of covering, even this one, it's really kind of covering without me concealing yet, just by pressing the product into those areas where I need a little bit more coverage. I'm kind of taking my inspiration from the booklet. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just kind of a really natural kind of look. So the next thing that I've got here is actually a stick concealer. And this is the Flawless Concealer. The shade I've got is number 5 Sand. And I'm just going to, straight from the bullet, pop a little bit under the eyes. And then around the nose, a little bit on the chin and in between my eyebrows. And let's get that spot there. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to blend this in with my finger, and then I'll probably take my foundation brush and just kind of pat that over the top to really blend it in. I'm going to take this over the eyelid as well, just to kind of really give myself a nice base. I really like this concealer. I'm not normally a fan of cream concealers, but I find that this isn't as sticky and it also doesn't cling to dry patches as badly as some of the other ones that I've tried. I would say if you do have really, really dry skin, then again, you really need to kind of watch stuff like this, but even though I'm quite dry at the moment, this concealer really doesn't sort of cling to anything. The coverage on this is really good, and what I do like is that if it does move and you don't want to set it, you can kind of just buff it all back into place. I think that's the joy with like cream products. This just gives a completely flawless finish, but it doesn't look cakey on my face, which is what I really like about it. So if I was going on a night out, I think this is one of the foundations that I would reach for. I would say it has a very similar kind of staying power as the Estee Lauder Double Wear Light, and the finish I would say is similar, but this looks more like skin, which is weird. I'm then going to be taking their powder. This is kind of like a one brand tutorial, isn't it? I don't think I've ever done any of this. And this is the translucent loose setting powder, and this is, I think this is just, it just comes in translucent. I'm going to be using the MAC 129 brush for this. You guys know I don't really love this brush, but it's there. It will shed on me, I know it will. And I'm patting this over the top because I don't want to move the colour that I've placed down. On my neck so much I don't really mind, I just kind of floof it about. But everywhere else you want to be patting into the skin. Now, I don't have any kind of bronzer to show you, so what I'm going to use is the Body Shop Shade Adjusting Drops, the darkening ones, and I'm just going to pop a couple of bits here and a little bit under my chin just to give my face some shape. So I just do this. And I kind of use it as like a contour because I find that if I use it in foundation, what it actually does is just make it grey, which is weird. And we don't want that. I'm just buffing that in with like a buffing brush. Now I'm going to go in with the Chanel Les Beiges, and this is in the shade, number 40. I'm going to use this as a bit of bronzer, just on an angled brush. These girls look like they've got like a really nice sort of glow. So it's funny, even though this is a really nice sort of satin finish, sort of matte skin, it's still got a glow to it, which is really nice. So you're going to take this down the neck just to match me up everywhere. I don't think I shade adjusted this particularly well, to be honest, guys, so I probably should have put some more of my white adjuster in. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with their blush. This is in the colour Desert Rose, and it is absolutely stunning. Like, it is it's a warmer toned version of, I would say, Tenderling. It's quite mauvey. You know that's one of my all-time favourite blushes from MAC. This is really beautiful. It hasn't really got any shimmer in it that I can see. It looks kind of matte, but again, it looks on the skin like it might have a little bit of a glow, but I can't really see. It just makes your face look alive. It would be really beautiful for all skin tones as well. I'm going to go in with a fluffy angle brush, and this is the Cashmere Press Blush, and you just need to touch it. It's really pigmented. I want to say like that's almost a little bit of a downfall, to be honest. I mean, this blush would last you absolutely ages, but if you are much paler than me, then you do really barely need to touch it. And if you're not if you're a bit heavy-handed with makeup, that could be a bit of an issue. I'm going to go off camera and do my eyebrows now. I don't have an eyebrow product from these guys. I'm sure that they probably do one. I'm just going to use my Makeup Forever Aqua Brow, as I always do. What I'm going to do next is I'm just going to take a little bit of MAC Soft and Gentle Mineralize Skin Finish, and I'm just going to take the same brush I use for powder, just a teeny weeny bit, and I'm just going to go over the tops of my cheeks. As someone that doesn't do highlight, I've really got into like a bit of a cheek glow, but I don't do like I kind of like it a little bit all over. I just think this is going to kind of add to that glow that those girls have on the pamphlet. Right, now I'm going to zoom you in a little bit so we can talk about some of the eyeshadows. These eyeshadows are called the Natural Illusion Pressed Eyeshadows, and I have like a few different colours. I like the fact they come individually like this. They've got a little mirror in each of them. They're a really decent size. 3 grams per shadow, and the packaging is just so pretty. So I've got a few different shades. I've got kind of like a bit more of like a wacky one. And then I've got some sort of standard, really nice browns. I think what we're gonna do today is we're gonna go like pretty neutral. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm actually gonna take the contour pencil, and this is in the colour, oh, I don't know, but it's a very kind of, if you can see that, sort of neutrally browny with some nice shimmer. And I'm actually going to place this underneath the eye, and I'm actually going to go all the way along, almost like a bit of an eye base. I'm going to show you on one eye first and then go back and do the other so that this tutorial is a little bit quicker. I'm going to pop that all the way along. You do kind of have to build this a little bit, but it's nice and it's not sort of too hard and it's not too creamy either. Just taking the smudger on the other end. And I'm just going to wing this out of the corner a little bit. And then I'm going to go in with a blending brush and just soften everything. Then I'm going to take the colour Seashell. I'm going to take that on a small brush. I'm going to pop that on the inner corner. You can use your fingers if you prefer. Then I'm going to take a little bit of Stone and I'm just going to go over the outer corners. I would say, if I'm being totally honest, this is not the best texture of shadow, this particular colour, that I have ever tried. But it is quite a dark colour. It is kind of like a demi-matte, so it's a little bit, it's got a matte base, but there are some sparkles in it. And I always find that that kind of texture shadow is quite difficult to get right. What I will say though is that it's quite nice if you're not used to working with darker colours, because you can sort of build it up more before it becomes too dark. If you go in with something really pigmented straight away, sometimes it's a bit like, oh god, I've put too much on. Whereas this is kind of nice in a way because actually it gives you a chance to build up what you're doing. Just taking a fluffy brush and sort of blending all that out. Then I'm going to go in with Dune. This is a matte kind of creamy colour. Again, big fluffy brush. And I'm just going to pop that underneath the eyebrow. Now that I've done that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Kevyn Aucoin eyelash curlers and just curl my lashes. So you want to get as close to the base of the lash as possible. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Pull out. Closer to the end. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And do that on the other side. I'm then going to be taking their Allure Defining Mascara, and this is actually in brown. I don't normally wear brown mascara. It is a, I just plonked some on my hand. It is a plastic brush. It's very spiky, it's very separating. I do actually really like this mascara. The only thing that I would say about this mascara is that it is quite wet. And not only is it quite wet, but it stays wet for quite a long time on the lashes. So you really want to be careful about like sneezing or just closing your eyes really hard or anything like that after you apply this. Once it's dry, I do find that it doesn't flake or anything. I mean, you can see the difference, look. But it will absolutely smudge if you're not careful because it is such a wet mascara. I mean, I personally think that this will be better, as a lot of mascaras are actually, I find, once it's been open for a couple of weeks. I've only had this about a week and I have been wearing it a fair bit and I really do like it, but it's just really wet, so you've got to be a little bit careful. Okay, so now that we've done the eyes, what we're going to do is we're just going to clean up a little bit underneath. So my camera's cut out, so I've done this already. So I've used the Nude by Nature Flawless Concealer, and I've just taken this sort of underneath the eye area and just kind of down the sides, and it just kind of gives you a little bit more of a polished look and just cleans up any sort of fallout that you have. I mean, these shadows actually are really brilliant in that they're not super powdery, so I actually didn't have any, but just where I've used big blending brushes all the way around the eye, I just find it's really nice to sort of clean up underneath a little bit. I don't actually have any lip products from these guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of my Barry M lip liner, and this is in the colour Blush. It's kind of similar to Dervish by MAC. It's just a really nice kind of soft pinky tone, and I'm just going to, I've already got some lip balm on, as you can see, and I'm just going to kind of just go over, just to give my lips a little bit more colour and shape. Obviously, if you want to put more lip balm on, or you want to do something different or a slightly different colour, then that's nice. I just find this colour is really nice and it kind of suits all skin tones. What I'm going to do now is actually take a little bit of this shadow in the colour Coral, and I'm actually going to take a little bit on my ring finger and I'm just going to pop some in the centre of my lip. Why not? So this is the finished look using, well, I'd say 97% products from Nude by Nature. I think my favourite product is probably, it's got to be the blush or the foundation. The foundation is really beautiful. Actually, I do really like the concealer as well. The foundation, concealer and blush have all gone into my makeup bag. So that says a lot, actually, as well as the eyeliner, to be honest, because I've been using that as an eye base quite often. This is a really simple, wearable, pretty look. You could obviously put some liner on or some lashes if you were going sort of out in the evening to take it from day to night, but this is a really nice, natural, pretty, glowing makeup with products that are really nice, easy to work with, beautiful packaging. All the rest of the packaging, by the way, is plastic, so it's just the glass bottle is on the foundation, so the rest are really perfect for travelling. I think this rose gold is absolutely stunning. This translucent powder as well is fantastic, and I have to tell you, it's one of the best packagings that I've seen for translucent powders. I don't have another powder like this where it's kind of got this dome with the tiny little filter bit to let the powder come through. My NYX one is sort of like the whole thing is a filter and it just gets so messy. This seems to catch the majority of it in the middle and not make too much mess, which I think is fantastic. And if you look at the inside of the lid, it obviously fits the kind of bit where all the stuff comes out. So actually when you're moving around, stuff can't come out because it's almost got like a second lid inside of the actual lid, which is bloody fantastic because these get so messy otherwise, and I actually do prefer a loose powder now. I hope that you've enjoyed this video and that it's maybe introduced you to a brand that is cruelty free. They're also PETA approved, so proper cruelty free. No nasties, really nice, beautiful packaging, and thank you to Nude by Nature for sending me some bits to try. As I said, a few of these have definitely gone into my makeup bag, and when I'm at home I've been really enjoying using the eyeshadows. I do know that they do some palettes, because unless you have sort of like favourite shadows or you don't use as many as I do perhaps for an everyday look, then carrying lots of singles is kind of annoying. But I do know that they have a really beautiful palette on the Debenhams website, which I'm kind of looking to get. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video and that it's given you some sort of tips and tricks on how to use the products, or just kind of a little bit of inspiration for some really nice work appropriate natural looks for the autumn. I will see you in another video soon. If you do enjoy the video, then please do give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, then subscribe to see more of me, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to follow me on my Instagram. All the links and stuff are below, and I will leave a product list for you down below as usual. Next video that you see will be an updated skincare routine, so look out for that. Okay, love you, bye.